Hello, Ryobi Associates. We know these have been difficult times while we've not been able to run production. While we've not been running production, one of the things we've been doing is working hard to figure out what it will take to be able to come back and work safely on our campus. We're going to walk through those actions that are going to be put in place temporarily to allow us to come back to work safely and make sure that you and your families aren't at any additional risk when you're working at Ryobi. As we get ready to come back to work, there are two overarching things that are critical from a Ryobi point of view, and they're all about keeping you, our associates, and your family safe. The first is to make sure we keep anyone who's sick out of the facility, and the second is to prevent the spread of the disease within the facility.
One of the first changes you're going to notice is we have temporarily shut down all the entrances to the facilities. For Plant 1, this will be the only entrance you can use. You can exit the building using any of the other exits, but to enter, you have to come in this way.
Just a reminder for Plant 2 associates, you can enter in the Plant 1 entrance or this Plant 3 entrance, which for all Plant 3 associates, you're going to enter this door only. Just as another reminder, you can exit any door out of Plant 3 except for this entrance.
Our Plant 6 associates will use the gate behind me in order to enter the building. Your group lead will meet you here and be able to let you in.
The next thing you're going to notice when you come in is that we already have a lot of the doors already propped open. You want to make sure that you leave the doors propped open for the next associate.
In addition to propped open doors, you may find some doors that we cannot prop open, but in some cases we've been able to use a toe kick where you'll be able to use your toe to open the door and get into the area without using your hands. To facilitate entry into the building and not have large lines waiting outside, especially in bad weather, temporarily we'll be splitting shift start times into thirds. As you can see on the slide, there'll be 15-minute increments between your start times. Your supervisor will call you before we come back to work and let you know what start time will apply to you. As you enter each of our campus facilities, you'll notice that the entries are marked with 6-foot tape markings. That's to make sure that we're social distancing correctly. As you come in, we'll also be doing a quick temperature check to make sure you're not running a fever and safe to come to work. Please make sure you're following the social distancing and staying on the 6-foot marks until it's time to move up to the next person. One of the other temporary changes you're going to see is that we're going to request associates who drive to work to take their breaks and lunches in their cars. That'll eliminate the need for large groups of people in common areas like the break room. However, for those that don't have the ability to take a break or lunch in the car, we have set up the break rooms for social distancing. You'll see that each of the tables only has one chair, they're spaced apart, and there's tape on the chair and the floor to show where they are. Additionally, in the break rooms will be sanitization buckets where before you eat, you'll have the chance to wipe down your table and make sure it's clean. If you choose to use a microwave, we've also had the chance to put some sanitization options by the microwave. So once again, before and after you use the microwave, we would ask that you sanitize the handle and touchpad area before you finish using the microwave. And finally, when you use the restrooms, you may find that some urinals and some sinks are temporarily blocked off to make sure that we're social distancing even within the restrooms.
As you prepare to return to work, we want to make sure that you are able to plan for the fact that we'll have no vending available for your use. We will, however, continue to allow the coin-operated coffee machines that will be able to be used.
As you return to work, just like before we stop production, we will not be using the time clocks. Your supervisor will be putting your time in for you. Common things like water fountains have been taped off for non-use, and even restroom doors where it doesn't create a situation where you can see into the restrooms are being propped open. Additionally, in uniform rooms, we'll be limiting the number of people into the uniform rooms. In Plant 1, which has a larger room, no more than 4 people will be allowed in the room at a time. In all of our other uniform rooms, only 1 person will be allowed at a time. Additionally, there will be sanitization buckets available for you to sanitize your hands before and after you get your uniforms. The virus can stay on cloth for multiple days, and we want to make sure we're not spreading the virus through the touching of uniforms. In fact, we're highly advising and asking associates to consider taking your uniforms home temporarily and bringing them in only to put them into the dirty clothes bins. Locker rooms are a challenging area. We are hoping that many people will take their uniforms home and not use the locker rooms, but we realize there are some people that their job will require them to change their uniform before going home. In those cases, we've marked off appropriate spots on the benches in the locker rooms to make sure that social distancing is applied. One of the key things you'll see as you come back is the requirement that all associates will be wearing masks. Ryobi will be able to provide masks to you if you don't have one, but there are many different kinds of masks that you are allowed to wear. Anything from an N95 mask to a homemade mask that's been sewn by you or a loved one, or even a triple material cotton mask that you've made on your own, like some of the hunting and ski masks that you see. Again, Ryobi will have masks available if you don't have them, but you are able to use your own mask if you want to bring your own. Another temporary change will be that you won't have pre-shift meetings like you've traditionally had. Instead, you'll be going down to your departments, and there'll be boards like the ones behind me that will let you know what line you're working on, what machine you're working on, and any key information that you need. If there is a meeting that's needed to be held, the departments like Finish have used paint on the floor to dictate where people can stand and still be socially distanced apart. Additionally, all the operations teams have gone through the plants and made sure that any areas that needed to be adjusted to allow that 6-foot social distancing is in effect. You'll be able to see a lot of signage reminding you of the need to keep that 6-foot distance between you and other associates, as well as wearing the right PPE to make sure you're protecting yourself and your coworkers. To be successful, it's going to take a team of all of us to be able to make sure these measures are effective. In the end, the measures we're putting in place are temporary, and they're our initial cut at it. As we move forward and we start production up again, we'll be counting on you, production associates, to help us determine how we tweak these initial measures to make them work the best for us all here at Ryobi. We appreciate your patience and we appreciate your support. In the end, you're your own best defense. Keeping social distance, sanitizing your hands in the areas that you're working with, and washing your hands regularly will do more than anything else any of us can do to make sure that you're safe.